Welcome to Timeless Murmurs. Tonight, we travel back, way back, before cities rose from the soil, before language shaped thought, before fire warmed human hands. Gently close your eyes now. Let the weight of the day loosen its grip. Allow the darkness behind your eyelids to feel safe, calm, and welcoming. You are not here to think, you are here to drift. Imagine yourself standing before a clock, but this clock does not count seconds or hours, it counts millennia. Each slow tick carries us backward through time, not in a rush, but in a soft, steady rhythm, perfect for rest. This is not just a human evolution documentary. This is history for sleep, a quiet sleep story for adults, designed to carry your mind far beyond modern worries. As the clock turns, the noise of the present fades. Emails dissolve, deadlines soften, money, status, urgency, all become impossibly small when placed against the vastness of 4 billion years. Tonight, you are invited to feel something rare, the comfort of perspective, the gentle realization that you are part of a story so ancient and immense that nothing pressing from today can follow you here. Let us begin at the edge of memory, long before memory existed. Picture the Earth as it once was, a restless sphere of molten rock and swirling oceans beneath an unfamiliar sky. There were no names yet, no borders, no ambitions, only time. Slow, patient, endlessly creative. Over countless ages, life stirred in silence. Tiny organisms learned to persist, to adapt, to endure. They did not know they were ancestors, they simply lived. And in doing so, they wrote the earliest pages of your story. As millions of years pass with each breath you take, complexity gently unfolds. Life experiments. Some paths end quietly, others continue, refined by chance and necessity. This is the true rhythm of evolution. Not a race, not a ladder, but a slow dance guided by survival and environment. Imagine floating above ancient seas, watching life spread, transform, and settle into new forms. There is no urgency here, only continuity. This long view is what allows your mind to rest. You do not need to solve anything tonight. You only need to listen and let the story carry you. Eventually, forests appear, vast and green, breathing beneath prehistoric skies. Within their shadows, early primates emerge, small and alert, moving through branches with curiosity rather than fear. They are not yet human, but they carry the faint outline of what will one day become you. Hands capable of grasping, eyes that see depth and distance, brains slowly growing, not for conquest, but for understanding the world around them. These creatures do not worry about tomorrow. They respond to sunlight, to hunger, to safety. Their lives are simple, present, and deeply connected to nature's rhythm. As you listen, allow yourself to mirror their calm. Your breathing slows, your thoughts soften. In this human evolution documentary told as a sleep story for adults, the goal is not to overwhelm you with facts, but to guide you gently into stillness through time itself. Each era we pass through removes another layer of modern tension. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be, suspended in a story that took millions of years to arrive at this moment. The clock continues its backward journey, but you feel no need to follow it actively. The narrative flows on your behalf. History for sleep works best when you surrender to it. And so, as the first chapter settles around you like a warm, ancient blanket, allow your body to relax completely. The journey has begun. There is nothing you need to do now except drift with it, deeper and deeper, into the long, quiet past.
As the journey continues, you may notice that time no longer feels linear. Minutes stretch, thoughts dissolve. This is exactly where history for sleep works its quiet magic. The clock we imagined earlier continues to turn, but now its ticking feels distant, almost unnecessary. You are no longer watching time, you are floating within it. Far below you, the earth slowly reshapes itself. Continents drift like patient travelers. Mountains rise and soften again. Oceans breathe in long, ancient cycles. Nothing is rushed, nothing resists change. This is the world that shaped your ancestors long before they ever knew they were becoming human. In this human evolution documentary told as a sleep story for adults, we allow the scale of deep time to gently shrink the noise of the present. Imagine standing beneath a vast prehistoric canopy. Sunlight filters through leaves that have never heard a human voice. The air is thick, warm, alive. In these forests, early primates continue their quiet existence. They leap, pause, observe. Their lives are shaped not by ambition, but by awareness. Every movement is purposeful, yet unhurried. They listen to the world more than they try to control it. Over millions of years, subtle changes accumulate. Bones adjust, balance improves, vision sharpens. These transformations are not sudden. They unfold so slowly that no single generation notices. Evolution is not dramatic here. It is gentle, persistent, almost meditative. And as you listen, your own body mirrors this rhythm. Your muscles loosen without instruction. Remind yourself that nothing needs to be forced. Sleep arrives best when invited, not demanded. The story carries on, softly weaving science and stillness together. In this era, survival is about harmony with surroundings. Those who adapt remain. Those who do not quietly fade. There is no judgment in this process, only continuity. This perspective is deeply calming for the modern mind. You are reminded that struggle is not personal, it is simply part of motion. And motion, when viewed across millions of years, always slows eventually. As forests change and climates shift, some primates begin spending more time on the ground. This is not yet the moment of walking upright. It is only an adjustment, a curiosity, a gentle experiment repeated across countless lifetimes. History for sleep does not rush these moments. It allows them to breathe. The ground beneath these creatures feels solid, reliable. The sky above remains vast and indifferent. And within this balance, the earliest foundations of the human story quietly settle into place. As you drift deeper into this narrative, you may feel the edges of consciousness soften. Thoughts become less defined, images blur comfortably. This is not losing focus, this is gaining rest. The human brain evolved to find safety in patterns and repetition, and this long, unfolding timeline provides exactly that. Each era blends into the next like waves rolling onto an endless shore. Nothing breaks the rhythm, nothing demands attention. This is why sleep stories for adults rooted in deep history are so effective. They remind your nervous system that urgency is an illusion created by short time frames. When viewed through millions of years, everything becomes manageable, even insignificant. The clock continues to tick backward, but now it feels less like movement and more like stillness. The journey does not push forward, it gently envelops you. And as this chapter draws toward its quiet close, you are invited to fully surrender to the process. You do not need to remember these details. You do not need to follow every image. Your subconscious understands the language of time without effort. The journey has done its work. You are safe within it. And as the ancient forests fade softly into darkness, the path forward will continue without urgency, carrying you naturally toward deeper rest, where the next chapter will unfold, slowly, patiently, exactly when your mind is ready. The world has no humans yet, no voices, no footsteps, only forests stretching endlessly beneath an ancient sky. Take a slow breath and imagine it now. Everything is green, not the gentle green of gardens, but a deep, layered green, alive and breathing. The air is thick and warm, carrying the scent of rain-soaked leaves and rich soil. This is ancient Earth history, long before memory, long before names mattered. Here, high above the ground, life feels safer. The canopy sways gently, leaves brushing against one another with a soft, rhythmic sound. This is the birthplace of primates' evolution, though no one living here would ever know that. Small creatures move carefully among the branches. They are quiet, alert, perfectly adapted to this world of height and shadow. They sleep where danger cannot easily reach them. Safety comes not from strength, but from balance and awareness. This is the feeling we invite your mind to return to tonight, a sense of protected stillness wrapped in leaves and time. Imagine resting on a wide branch, your body supported, your breath slow. Below you, the forest floor remains distant and unknown. Above you, the canopy forms a living ceiling, filtering sunlight into soft patterns that shift and dance. This sensory world is designed to calm the nervous system. The gentle rustle of leaves, the muted echo of distant rain, the subtle scent of moisture in the air. These are relaxing history facts, not meant to inform, but to soothe. Among these branches, one small creature moves with quiet confidence. Scientists would one day call it Purgatorius. The name sounds sharp, almost harsh, but the creature itself is anything but. It is small, light, squirrel-like, with eyes that scan the world carefully. It does not rush, it does not panic, it observes. In its movements, we see the earliest hints of primates' evolution. Hands capable of gripping, a brain tuned not just to survival, but to awareness of surroundings. This creature does not dominate its world, it belongs to it. Rain begins to fall softly, not in sudden storms, but in a steady, calming rhythm. Droplets strike leaves above, breaking into tiny sounds that blend together like a lullaby. The smell of wet bark and moss deepens. Everything feels enclosed, protected, intimate. In this moment, you can let your thoughts slow to match the pace of this ancient forest. There is no urgency here, no future to plan for, only presence, only now. This is why the early chapters of human evolution documentary stories work so well as sleep stories for adults. They return the mind to a time when awareness mattered more than anxiety, when being alert did not remind you of deadlines, but simply of wind, rain, and movement.
Over millions of years, these small primates refine their existence in the trees. Their eyes face forward, allowing depth perception. Their fingers curl naturally around branches. Their nervous systems learn calm vigilance, not constant fear. This balance becomes deeply ingrained, passed down slowly, generation after generation. It is part of you, too. When you feel comfort in enclosed spaces, when repetitive natural sounds help you sleep, you are responding to echoes from this distant past. Ancient Earth history is not separate from your body. It lives quietly within it. As you continue to listen, allow your breathing to synchronize with the forest. Inhale slowly as if drawing in the warm, humid air. Exhale gently as though releasing tension into the leaves below. The story does not need your effort. It unfolds naturally, like the slow growth of branches reaching for light. In this world without humans, without noise, without expectation, life continues in a steady rhythm. And as this part of the chapter draws to a close, remains suspended here, high in the canopy, safe and supported. The dawn of primates is not loud, it is subtle, it is quiet. It is exactly the kind of beginning that invites deep rest, preparing you gently for the next part of the journey. The forest continues to breathe around you. The canopy above remains steady, protective, alive. As time drifts forward through millions of years, nothing feels abrupt. Change arrives the way sleep does, gradually, almost unnoticed. In this ancient Earth history, primates' evolution unfolds not through moments of drama, but through countless quiet nights spent in the trees. Imagine the sky darkening slowly. The light fades, replaced by a deep, enveloping dusk. Sounds soften rather than disappear. Insects hum in gentle patterns. Leaves settle. Rainwater drips from branch to branch in a slow, predictable rhythm. This is where safety truly forms, not in brightness or activity, but in familiarity. Early primates learn the language of the forest at night. They know which branches hold weight, which movements signal danger, which sounds mean nothing at all. Their nervous systems adapt to this environment, becoming finely tuned yet calm. This balance between alertness and rest is one of the most important gifts passed down through primates' evolution. It is the reason repetitive sounds still soothe you. It is why steady rhythms help your body relax. These are not modern comforts. They are ancient instructions written deep within your biology. Over long spans of time, these small tree-dwelling creatures develop stronger social awareness. They begin to recognize one another, not as threats, but as companions. A presence nearby means safety, warmth, continuity. In this way, connection becomes a survival tool. Not dominance, not isolation, but quiet togetherness. This subtle shift matters. It lays the groundwork for everything that will follow in the human story. And yet, nothing feels rushed. The forest allows these changes to unfold at their own pace. Night after night, generation after generation, the same patterns repeat. Sleep comes easily here. Bodies curl naturally into secure positions. Limbs wrap around branches. Breathing slows in sync with the environment. This is not exhaustion. This is rest. True rest, shaped by millions of years of adaptation. As you listen, notice how your own body responds. Shoulders loosen. Jaw softens. Breathing deepens. This is the power of relaxing history facts when they are felt rather than analyzed. Your mind recognizes the safety in this setting, even if it cannot name why. Somewhere in your subconscious, the memory remains. The forest does not demand productivity. It does not measure worth. It simply exists and allows life within it to exist as well. Over time, climates begin to shift almost imperceptibly. Forests thin in some regions. New spaces open between the trees. For the primates, this change is not a threat. It is an invitation to adapt, slowly, cautiously. Some remain in the canopy, where safety is familiar. Others explore the spaces between. This moment is important, but it is not dramatic. There is no single step, no sudden decision, just curiosity repeated gently over thousands of generations. History for sleep teaches us that the most significant transformations rarely announce themselves. They whisper. As this chapter approaches its close, imagine the forest at rest. Moonlight filters through leaves, painting soft patterns on bark and fur. The air cools slightly. The rain has passed, leaving behind the clean mineral scent of wet earth. Everything feels settled, secure, complete. This is the emotional foundation of your distant ancestors. Long before tools, long before fire, long before words, there was this feeling: safety above the ground, rhythm in sound, comfort in repetition. This is not just ancient Earth history. It is a reminder that rest is natural, that sleep is not something to chase, that something to return to. And as the forest fades gently into the background of your awareness, the journey continues, preparing you for the next quiet shift in the story. Not yet into urgency, not yet into struggle, just one small step closer to the ground, carried softly by time, while your mind drifts deeper into calm.
The forests begin to thin. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but slowly, over vast stretches of time. Trees that once stood close together now leave open spaces between them. Sunlight reaches the ground more freely. Grass begins to grow taller, swaying gently in warm air. The world is changing again, quietly, patiently. And within this changing landscape, a small population of early hominins faces a subtle challenge: visibility. In tall grass, the ground-level view becomes limited. Sounds travel differently. Movement feels less predictable. This is not a moment of danger. It is a moment of curiosity. Imagine one of these beings pausing, surrounded by stillness. The air is warm, the land stretches outward. And then, something simple happens. A shift in posture, a careful rise. For the first time, balance moves upward. Weight transfers. 2 feet press into the earth. This is the moment we remember, not as a heroic act, not as a conquest, but as observation. This is the quiet beginning of bipedalism history. Standing upright is not about fighting or fleeing, it is about seeing. As Sahelanthropus chadensis slowly straightens, the horizon expands. Grass parts, distance reveals itself. The world does not become louder, it becomes calmer. With height comes perspective. From this new vantage point, the land feels wider, but also more understandable. The nervous system adjusts, not with alarm, but with awareness. This is the first step toward human origin sleep narratives because it introduces a fundamental shift in how the world is perceived. Imagine the sensation in the body. Muscles unfamiliar with this posture awaken gently. The spine aligns. The head balances differently. There is no rush to move. Standing still is enough. The breeze feels different at this height. Sounds carry more evenly. The eyes scan slowly, not in fear, but in curiosity. This is the viral heart of this chapter. The courage of stillness, the bravery of simply standing and observing. In modern life, courage is often associated with action, noise, struggle. But here, in deep time, courage looks like patience. It looks like taking a moment to rise and look without urgency. This is why this chapter works so powerfully as a sleep story. It reframes change as something gentle, something thoughtful, something safe. As the forests continue to recede and open landscapes become more common, standing upright proves useful not because it dominates the environment, but because it harmonizes with it. The early hominins do not rush across the land. They pause, they watch, they learn. This is the beginning of a new relationship with space. Distance becomes something to observe, not something to conquer. And as you listen, your own body responds. Your posture shifts subtly. Your breathing deepens. Your awareness broadens. You are mirroring this ancient transition without effort. This is human origin sleep narrative at work. The story aligns with your nervous system's natural rhythms. Standing upright also frees the hands, not yet for tools, not yet for building, but for balance, for gentle gestures, for carrying small things. The hands rest calmly at the sides, relaxed, unburdened. This detail matters because it signals a move away from constant readiness. The body is no longer always braced for sudden movement. It can afford to be still. And stillness invites rest. As millions of years pass quietly in the background, this posture becomes familiar, not universal, not constant, but available, a choice, to rise, to look, to understand. Sahelanthropus is not thinking about the future. It does not know it is part of primates evolution or bipedalism history. It simply responds to the environment with calm intelligence. And that calm intelligence is something you still carry. When you pause, when you look without reacting, when you allow yourself to simply observe your thoughts instead of chasing them, you are standing upright in the same way. And as this first part of the chapter settles, imagine yourself gently standing too. Not physically, but mentally, rising just enough to gain perspective, without tension. The world becomes bigger, but quieter. And in that quiet expansion, sleep finds you more easily.
Standing upright does not immediately lead to walking far. At first, it is simply a pause, a moment of balance held gently between movement and rest. The body learns slowly. Weight shifts from side to side. Feet press into the ground with cautious curiosity. The earth feels different when touched this way, more solid, more present. This is not yet a journey across the land. It is an introduction. In bipedalism history, the earliest steps are not about speed or distance, but about trust. Trust in the body, trust in balance, trust in the quiet strength of stillness. Imagine Sahelanthropus standing, then taking a single careful step. The motion is small, almost unnoticeable. The grass brushes against the legs. The ground offers resistance, then support. Nothing dramatic happens. The world does not react. And that is the point.
This change is accepted by the landscape because it is gentle. In this moment, walking upright becomes a way of listening rather than asserting. Each step invites awareness. The eyes look farther ahead, the ears pick up subtle shifts in sound, the mind grows calm, focused, present. This is why human-origin sleep stories often return to this transition. It teaches the nervous system that progress does not require urgency, it requires patience. As upright posture becomes more familiar, the rhythm of movement slows. 2 legs create a natural pace, steady and measured. There is time to observe clouds drifting, time to notice how light changes across the open land, time to sense other beings nearby without alarm. The body remains relaxed, not coiled for sudden escape. Standing and walking upright encourages a quieter internal state. Breathing deepens, the chest opens, the spine carries the body with less effort. Over generations, this posture subtly reshapes anatomy, but more importantly, it reshapes perception. The horizon remains wide, the mind begins to think in longer arcs of time and space. This shift is not intellectual, it is experiential. It happens in the body first, and your body recognizes it now as you listen. Notice how this story invites you to slow down rather than speed up. This is the viral heart of the chapter, the silent courage of choosing calm over reaction. In a world that encourages constant motion, this ancient lesson feels radical. Standing upright allows early hominins to see without chasing, to notice without interfering, to exist within the environment rather than against it. This is not dominance, it is belonging. As landscapes continue to open, upright walking becomes a gentle companion to observation. The hominins do not wander aimlessly, they move when needed and stop when stillness offers more information. This balance creates safety. It reduces unnecessary energy expenditure. It supports longer periods of rest, and rest is essential. In deep time, survival favors those who can conserve energy as much as those who can act. This is a relaxing history fact woven into the body itself. The ability to stand and walk slowly allows the mind to remain quiet, and quiet minds rest more deeply. As you follow this rhythm, you may feel your own thoughts spacing out. Gaps appear between them. Silence becomes comfortable. This is not emptiness, it is spaciousness, a state your ancestors learned while standing in tall grass, watching the world without needing to control it. Sahelanthropus does not label this experience, it simply lives it. And through millions of years, that lived calm becomes part of the lineage. It travels forward, carried in posture, breath, and nervous system. It arrives with you now, in this moment, as you listen. This is human origin sleep working, gently, without effort. As this second part of the chapter settles, imagine the body at rest after a short walk. Standing again, then sitting, then stillness returning. The ground feels familiar now. Balance feels natural. There is no strain, only quiet readiness. The world remains open, wide, and calm. And in that calm openness, your mind finds it easier to let go, preparing softly for the final part of this chapter, where standing upright becomes not just a posture, but a way of being in the world. Over time, standing upright stops feeling like an experiment and begins to feel like home. The body remembers how to balance without effort. The muscles no longer question their role. The spine carries weight with quiet confidence. In the open landscapes of this ancient Earth history, upright posture becomes less about movement and more about presence. The early hominins do not rush forward into the future. They remain anchored in the moment, using height not to dominate, but to understand. This is the final lesson of bipedalism history in its earliest form. Standing upright is not an act of aggression, it is an act of awareness. From this position, the world appears calmer. The horizon stretches wide, yet nothing demands immediate response. Space opens, time slows. This is why human origin sleep stories return again and again to this transition. It introduces the idea that perspective creates peace. When you can see farther, you panic less. When you stand tall, you do not need to run. Imagine Sahelanthropus resting at the end of the day. The body has stood. It has taken a few careful steps. Now it is still. The tall grass moves gently in the evening air. The sun lowers, casting long shadows across the land. Nothing feels unfinished. Nothing calls for action. This posture of calm observation becomes deeply encoded. Over generations, it shapes not only bones, but behavior. Standing upright allows early hominins to pause before reacting, to assess before moving, to remain present rather than impulsive. This quiet discipline is the true inheritance passed down through primates evolution. Long before tools or language, there was restraint, there was patience, there was the ability to simply be. In modern life, this lesson feels distant, yet your nervous system still responds to it. When you sit or stand comfortably, when your spine aligns and your breathing deepens, your body remembers. It recognizes the safety of this posture. This is human origin sleep stories unfolding gently inside you. The story is not asking you to imagine struggle, it is inviting you to feel stability. As night settles over the landscape, standing upright gives way to rest. Bodies lower, limbs relax. The ground feels familiar now, no longer unknown. Upright posture has created trust between body and earth. This trust makes rest possible, and rest allows the mind to soften completely. The final insight of this chapter is simple and powerful. Evolution does not always move forward by force. Sometimes it advances by finding a better way to pause. Standing upright gave early hominins a new way to wait, to watch, to listen. It reduced unnecessary movement. It conserved energy. It supported longer periods of calm. This is why the transition from 4 legs to 2 is such a perfect metaphor for sleep. It represents the shift from tension to balance, from reaction to awareness. As this chapter closes, allow yourself to embody that same shift. You do not need to go anywhere. You do not need to solve anything. Simply let your inner posture straighten gently. Thoughts align. Breathing becomes steady. The horizon inside your mind widens but grows quieter. And in that quiet expansion, you prepare naturally for the next chapter of the journey. Soon, new forms will appear. New adaptations will unfold. But for now, rest in this moment of balance. The first hominins have stood. They have seen the world differently, and they have shown you that sometimes the bravest thing a being can do is stand still, look out across the land, and allow peace to arrive. There is a name we all seem to recognize, even before we understand why. Lucy. Say it softly in your mind. Lucy. It does not sound like a fossil, it sounds like a person. And that is exactly why this chapter matters. In the long sweep of human evolution, Lucy brings us closer, not through size or power, but through familiarity. She lived more than 3 million years ago, yet tonight she feels strangely near. In the Afar Triangle of Ethiopia, under a vast open sky, Lucy walked. The land was warm, the ground firm beneath her feet. She was small, much smaller than modern humans, with long arms and a body shaped by both the trees and the open plains. But she walked upright, calmly, steadily, carrying herself across the landscape with quiet confidence. This is the Australopithecus afarensis we know through the Lucy fossil. But before she was a fossil, she was simply alive. Imagine the afternoon light resting gently on her shoulders. The air is dry but comfortable. The horizon stretches wide, familiar now after generations of standing upright. Lucy is not rushing. There is no urgency in her movement. She walks because walking is natural, because the body has learned how. In this calming history narration, Lucy is not a scientific specimen. She is a presence, a being who looked up at the sky at the end of the day, just as you might tonight. Somewhere above her, stars begin to appear, faint at first, then brighter. She does not name them, she does not study them, she simply sees them. This is where the emotional connection forms. Across millions of years, that simple act of looking upward remains unchanged. The same sky, the same quiet wonder, the same sense of belonging beneath something vast and steady. Lucy's world is not easy, but it is understandable. She knows the rhythms of her environment, the sounds of distant animals, the patterns of wind across the grass, the feeling of volcanic earth beneath her feet. One day, long after she is gone, those feet will become famous. Preserved in volcanic ash, her footprints capture a moment of ordinary life. Not a chase, not a fight, a walk. A calm walk in the afternoon sun, frozen forever in time. This is why the Lucy fossil resonates so deeply. It does not show struggle, it shows continuity. It shows that being human has always included moments of quiet movement and rest. When you imagine Lucy walking, imagine her as family, not distant, not abstract. A grandmother far removed by time, but close in spirit. She survived, she adapted, she passed on something essential, not tools, not language, but posture, rhythm, the ability to move through the world without constant fear. This sense of belonging is the viral heart of this chapter. You are not alone in time. You are part of a lineage that learned how to stand, how to walk, how to pause, and how to look at the sky without needing to understand it. As you listen, your body responds to this recognition. Muscles soften, breathing deepens. The nervous system relaxes when it feels connected rather than isolated. This is why calming history narration works so well for sleep. It replaces modern loneliness with ancient belonging. Lucy does not speak to you, but she does not need to. Her existence is the message that small bodies can endure, that vulnerability does not prevent survival, that calm awareness is often enough. As the day in her world fades into evening, Lucy rests. The ground is familiar, the stars are steady, and somewhere, millions of years later, you are resting too, listening to her story, feeling that quiet thread of connection stretch across time, preparing you gently for deeper rest as the journey continues. As the light of the day softens, Lucy is no longer alone. Around her are others like her, kin, not identical, but familiar. Together they move through the landscape with an ease shaped by millions of years of learning. This is the deeper story of Australopithecus afarensis. Not a single fossil frozen in time, but a community, a quiet network of lives connected by rhythm and routine. In the Afar region and beyond, these early ancestors share space, share movement, and share rest. This sense of togetherness is subtle but powerful. It is not built on hierarchy or command, but on presence, on knowing who belongs nearby, on recognizing shapes and sounds that signal safety rather than threat. One afternoon, after a gentle rain, the ground beneath them is soft with volcanic ash. The surface records what passes across it without judgment. Lucy walks. Others walk beside her. Their steps are unhurried, evenly spaced. Each footprint presses into the ash, leaving behind a simple message. We were here. Not to conquer, not to claim, but to pass through. Millions of years later, these footprints will be discovered at Laetoli, preserving a quiet moment of family life. This is why the Lucy fossil story feels so intimate. It captures ordinary connection rather than extraordinary drama. The viral power of this chapter comes from that ordinariness. Across time, the need to belong remains unchanged. The Australopithecines do not build homes, but they return to familiar places. They do not speak, but they communicate through movement and proximity. They understand safety in numbers, comfort in routine. This is calming history narration at its most effective because it reflects something deeply human that existed long before the word human. As evening approaches, the group settles. Bodies lower to the ground. Limbs relax. The day does not end with urgency. It fades gently. The sky darkens. Stars emerge. Lucy looks up again, just as she did countless nights before. The same sky you see now. The same quiet spread of light. This repetition is comforting. It teaches the nervous system that stability exists, even in a changing world. Through generations, this pattern continues. Walk, pause, rest, look up, sleep. The body learns when to move and when to be still. This rhythm becomes inheritance, passed not through instruction, but through example. When you feel calm in familiar routines, when repetition helps you unwind, you are responding to this ancient gift. The Australopithecines did not know they were shaping the future. They simply lived in a way that allowed survival to feel gentle. Lucy's small frame did not limit her, it grounded her. Close to the earth, aware of subtle changes, connected to those around her. This grounded presence is the emotional core of this chapter. Lucy is not a distant ancestor locked in a museum. She is family, a reminder that resilience does not require force, it requires connection. As this chapter comes to a close, imagine Lucy and her kin resting together beneath the stars. The night air is cool. The ground is familiar. There is no fear, only quiet vigilance and trust. And as you listen, allow yourself to feel that same trust. You belong to a long story. You are not separate from it. The footsteps in hash, the shared pauses, the upward glance toward the sky, all of it leads gently to you. Let that realization soften your thoughts. Let it slow your breathing. Lucy's world was uncertain, yet calm. And in remembering her, your mind learns that calm is something humans have always known. Sleep is not an escape from history. It is a return to it. And as the night deepens, the journey prepares to move forward, carrying you softly into the next chapter, while you remain wrapped in the comfort of belonging. There is a sound that changes everything. Stone striking stone. Not loud, not violent, just precise, intentional. Click. In the stillness of the early Stone Age, this sound becomes familiar, repeating, comforting. This is the beginning of Homo Habilis, the handyman. The first humans, not because they looked different, but because they touched the world differently. Imagine sitting on warm earth as the day slowly fades. The ground beneath you is steady. The air is calm. In your hands, you hold a stone. Feel its weight, solid, honest, cool against the skin. This tactile sensation is important. Before words, before symbols, there was touch. Homo habilis learns through the hands. The fingers explore the surface, tracing rough edges and smooth planes. This is Stone Age history experienced through the body. Now, lift another stone, slightly heavier. Bring them together gently. Click. A small sound, predictable, reassuring. Nothing dramatic happens yet. Try again. Click. A flake breaks free and falls away. There is satisfaction here, deep and quiet. Not excitement, not triumph. Recognition. The world can be shaped. This realization settles slowly into the nervous system. Homo habilis does not rush. They repeat the motion. Click, click, click. Each strike follows the same rhythm, the same arc, the same controlled force. This repetition is the viral heart of this chapter. The rhythm itself becomes calming, just like breathing, just like waves, just like sleep. This is handyman evolution unfolding gently. The hands are no longer just for balance or carrying. They become instruments of change, but subtle change. A sharper edge appears, not perfect, not refined, but useful. The stone fits the palm naturally, as if it was always meant to be held this way. Feel that fit now. The tool is not separate from the body, it extends it. The cold surface warms slightly with continued contact. The sound continues. Click, click, click. Around this sound, life remains quiet. No crowds, no urgency, just the steady presence of time. Homo habilis works alone or nearby others, not in competition, but in parallel. Each individual absorbed in the same rhythm, the same tactile feedback, the same slow satisfaction. This is why ASMR soundscapes rooted in human origins are so effective for sleep. The brain recognizes this rhythm. It remembers it. Repetition signals safety. Predictability allows relaxation. Stone Age history is not only about survival. It is about focus, about losing awareness of unnecessary thoughts, about entering a state where only the hands and the sound exist. As you listen, your own hands may feel heavier, more relaxed. Muscles soften. The mind stops searching for stimulation and begins to settle. Homo habilis does not think of the future. They do not imagine progress. They simply repeat what works. The sound becomes a companion. Click, click, click. Time stretches. The sun lowers. Shadows lengthen. The stone tool grows slightly sharper, slightly more familiar. This small improvement is enough. It does not demand celebration. It invites continuation. This is the quiet genius of early humans. They found meaning in the process, not the result. In this calming history narration, creation is not loud or fast. It is slow, rhythmic, grounded. As the day fades fully into evening, the work naturally stops. The hands rest. The stone lies nearby. The tool remains, but the body no longer needs to hold it. The rhythm echoes softly in memory. Click, click, click. And as you follow that rhythm now, let it guide your breathing. In, out, slow, steady. The first humans discovered that shaping the world could be soothing, and in remembering them, your mind is allowed to do the same. To soften, to settle, to drift gently toward rest, carried by the oldest rhythm of creation. The rhythm continues, steady and patient. Click, click, click. What began as a solitary motion becomes something shared. Nearby, others sit with their own stones, each absorbed in the same quiet task. This is early Homo at work, not in factories or workshops, but in open air, beneath a wide sky. The sound of stone on stone overlaps gently, never chaotic, never rushed. It forms a soft texture of sound, an ancient ASMR woven into Stone Age history. The community does not need instructions. Each person learns by watching, by listening, by feeling the vibration travel through the hands. Homo habilis understands something profound without words. Repetition builds calm. Predictability builds trust. When the sound is familiar, the mind rests. Imagine the subtle differences between stones. One is smoother, producing a softer click. Another is coarser, answering with a sharper tone. These variations do not disrupt the rhythm, they enrich it. The hands adjust naturally, finding the angle that works best. This is handyman evolution in its purest form. Not innovation for speed, but refinement for ease. Over time, the tool takes shape, but so does the mind. Focus narrows gently. Thoughts unrelated to the task fall away. There is no room for worry when attention is fully occupied by touch and sound. This is why tactile creation has always soothed humans. The brain relaxes when it knows exactly what to expect next. Click, click, click. The early humans pause occasionally, not from fatigue, but from awareness. They turn the stone, feel its edge, notice its balance. This pause is important. It is not interruption, it is integration. The nervous system processes success quietly, without excitement. This is calming history narration made physical. Knowledge enters the body before it ever becomes an idea. As the sun moves across the sky, shadows shift slowly. Time is marked not by clocks, but by light and warmth. Homo habilis remains grounded in the present. Hunger arrives gently. Rest follows naturally. There is no pressure to maximize output. The goal is not accumulation, it is usefulness. A stone sharp enough is enough. This mindset shapes behavior across generations. Tools become reliable companions, not objects of obsession. They are used, set down, and picked up again when needed. This simple relationship prevents mental overload. In modern terms, it is mindfulness without a name. The soundscape remains consistent. Click, click, click. The repetition anchors the group. Even those not actively striking stone feel calmer listening to the rhythm. Children watch. They absorb the pattern long before they can replicate it. This is how culture forms quietly, through shared sensory experience, through rhythms that signal safety. Stone Age history is often imagined as harsh and loud, but here it is soft, deliberate, almost meditative. As evening approaches, the pace slows further. Fewer strikes, longer pauses. The sound fades gradually rather than stopping abruptly. This tapering is crucial for rest. The body recognizes the signal. Activity is ending. Night is coming. The tools are placed nearby, within reach, but no longer held. Hands open, fingers relax. The stones cool again in the air. The memory of the rhythm remains. Homo habilis settles into stillness, surrounded by the quiet evidence of their work. Nothing needs to be proven, nothing needs to be finished. This acceptance is part of the evolutionary gift. It teaches the nervous system to release control when the task is complete. As you listen now, notice how your own breathing mirrors this slowdown. Inhale a little longer. Exhale a little deeper. The repetition has done its work. The mind is less busy.
The body feels heavier, grounded. This is human origin sleep unfolding exactly as intended. The second part of this chapter does not push the story forward aggressively. It allows it to settle, just like the stones at the end of the day. Creation rests, and in that rest, sleep becomes easier to enter, guided by the oldest communal rhythm humans have ever known.
Eventually, the sound fades into memory. Click, click, click. What remains is not the tool itself, but the feeling it created. A sense of control without tension. A sense of purpose without urgency. This is the quiet psychological shift that defines early Homo. Homo habilis did not just shape stone, they shaped their inner world. By repeating a simple, predictable action, they discovered something essential. The mind becomes calm when the hands know what to do. This realization travels forward through time, becoming one of the foundations of human behavior. In the stillness of the evening, tools rest beside their makers. The stones lie where they were placed, patient, reliable. Nothing about them demands attention anymore. The work has been done. The nervous system recognizes completion. This recognition is powerful. It signals safety. It allows release. In Stone Age history, this moment is as important as invention itself. Knowing when to stop, knowing when to rest. Homo habilis sits quietly, feeling the ground beneath the body. The earth holds steady. The sky darkens gradually. There is no sudden change, no alarm, only a gentle transition from activity to rest. This smooth transition trains the brain to accept stillness without resistance. Modern humans struggle with this skill, but your body remembers it. It is encoded deeply, older than language. When you listen to this calming history narration, that memory awakens. The mind recognizes the pattern. Action followed by rest. Sound followed by silence. Creation followed by sleep. The tool was never meant to dominate life. It was meant to support it. Homo habilis used tools to make survival easier, not more complicated. They did not chase perfection. They accepted usefulness. This acceptance reduces mental strain. It allows satisfaction to arise naturally. As the group settles fully into night, breathing slows, muscles soften. The hands that once struck stone now rest open, empty, relaxed. The absence of the click is as soothing as its presence was. Silence becomes the final rhythm. In this silence, the mind drifts. Thoughts become less defined, less insistent. The body feels heavier, grounded by gravity and time. This is human origin sleep at its deepest. The early humans did not intellectualize this process, they lived it. And by living it, they passed it down. Across generations, this pattern repeats. Work, pause, rest, sleep. It becomes biology. It becomes instinct. Tonight, as you follow this ancient rhythm, you are not imagining history, you are participating in it. The same mechanisms that allowed Homo habilis to rest safely now allow you to do the same. The tool is gone from your hands, but the calm remains. Click, click, click. Now silence. Let that silence expand gently. Let it fill the spaces between thoughts. Nothing needs to happen next. There is no next task, only rest. The chapter closes not with an ending, but with a settling. The first humans shaped stone, and in doing so, they shaped a path toward peace. As your breathing evens out, allow yourself to follow that path inward. Sleep is not separate from creation. It is its natural conclusion. And in this conclusion, the journey continues quietly, carrying you forward through time, even as your body drifts safely into sleep. They were the first great travelers. Long before maps, before borders, before the idea of destinations, Homo erectus began to walk away from the cradle of humanity. Not quickly, not with urgency, but steadily, step after step. This is human migration history in its gentlest form. Imagine the landscape opening slowly as they move. Wide plains, distant hills, a sky that changes color through the day. Homo erectus carries very little. What they bring is not possession, but endurance. The body is built for long walks, legs strong, posture upright, breathing steady. Each step is unremarkable on its own, but together they carry a species across continents. This slow travel is deeply calming. The nervous system understands it instinctively. Movement without pressure, progress without haste. As the sun sets at the end of another long walk, something extraordinary waits. And then there was fire. Not as a weapon, not as destruction, but as comfort. Homo erectus learns to keep the flame, to protect it, to return to it. Imagine sitting in a cave 1 million years ago. Outside, the darkness is complete. No distant lights, no sounds of civilization, only wind and night. But inside, near the fire, there is glow, soft, flickering, alive. The discovery of fire changes everything, not because it gives power, but because it gives safety. The warmth touches the skin gently. Muscles relax. The long walk is over for the day. The fire does not rush, it breathes. Flames rise and fall in a slow rhythm, mirroring the breath of those who sit nearby. This is the viral heart of the chapter, the fireplace effect, the same sensation your body recognizes tonight. You are safe. You are warm. You do not need to move. Homo erectus gathers close, not crowded, but connected. Faces glow softly in the firelight. Shadows dance on stone walls. The flame becomes a center, a place to return to after wandering. This discovery of fire reshapes the mind. Fear retreats. The night feels less threatening. Time stretches. Waiting becomes possible. Sitting still becomes natural. This is why fire remains hypnotic even now. The human brain evolved beside it. The flicker signals protection. The warmth signals survival. As the group settles, the long journey pauses. Tools are nearby. Food warms slowly. The fire crackles quietly. Not loud, just enough to be heard. Crackle, soft pop, gentle hiss. These sounds are ancient ASMR, older than language. They slow the heart rate. They soften awareness. Homo erectus does not think of conquest. They think of rest. Tomorrow, the walk will continue, but not now. Now there is fire. The migration across continents happens not in dramatic leaps, but between moments like this. Walk, stop, warmth, sleep. This pattern repeats across thousands of nights, across valleys and coastlines, across forests and open land. Human migration history is built not on speed, but on the ability to pause safely. Fire makes pause possible. As you listen, notice how your body mirrors this ancient response. Shoulders drop, jaw loosens, breathing deepens. The flame outside the story warms something inside you. Homo erectus sits quietly, eyes heavy, watching the light move. The world beyond the cave can wait. For now, there is only warmth, light, and the comfort of having arrived somewhere safe. This chapter does not push forward aggressively. It invites you to sit, to rest, to let the fire do its work. And as the flames flicker lower, the journey continues softly, carrying you deeper into calm, just as it did for our ancestors, one slow night at a time.
Morning returns softly. The fire has dimmed, but it has not vanished. A few glowing embers remain, warm and patient. Homo erectus knows what to do. They do not rush. A gentle breath, a careful addition of dry grass, a small branch placed just right. The flame wakes again. This quiet ritual repeats across days and landscapes, becoming a portable sense of home. Wherever they stop, fire arrives with them. This is why slow travel works. The journey never feels like exile. Human migration history unfolds as a series of familiar evenings rather than unknown nights. As they walk, the land changes gradually. Forests thin into grasslands. Rivers appear, then widen. The sky feels larger. Homo erectus adjusts without anxiety. The body is trained for endurance. The mind is trained for patience. Each day's walk is measured not by distance, but by rhythm. Step, step, breathe, step. This cadence calms the nervous system. It reduces the need for constant alertness. Discovery of fire supports this calm. Knowing there will be warmth later allows the mind to stay relaxed now. This anticipation is soothing, not stressful. It is a promise rather than a demand. As evening approaches again, the group chooses a place that feels right. Not perfect, just suitable. A curve of rock to block wind, a hollow that gathers warmth. Fires lit. The same sequence, the same glow, the same comfort. This repetition is powerful. It teaches the brain that safety can be recreated anywhere. Home is not a structure, it is a process. Homo erectus carries that process across continents. In this way, migration becomes gentle, even adventurous. The unknown is softened by ritual. The flame becomes a companion on the road. At night, faces glow in familiar light. The fire's movement is never exactly the same, yet always recognizable. Flicker, pause, rise, settle. Watching it requires no effort. Thoughts slow naturally. Muscles release. The body recognizes the scene as permission to rest. This is why the fireplace remains one of the most calming images for humans today. It speaks directly to this ancient memory. Homo erectus sits quietly, hands open, tools nearby but unused. Tomorrow will bring another walk, another stretch of land, another evening by the fire. There is no urgency to imagine it now. The present moment is enough. The flame hums softly. Outside, the night spreads wide. Inside the circle of light, there is warmth and predictability. Human migration history is often told as movement, but it is sustained by stillness. The ability to stop well, to pause deeply,
to rest fully. Without this, no journey could continue. Homo erectus masters this balance. Walk far, rest deeply, repeat. Over thousands of nights, this rhythm carries them beyond Africa, into new climates, new horizons. Yet the feeling at night remains the same: firelight, warmth, safety. As you listen, notice how your own body mirrors this ancient routine. You are not traveling fast. You are not being pushed. You are simply arriving at rest again and again. The flame in the story steadies your breathing. The idea of tomorrow loosens its grip. Tonight is complete. This part of the chapter does not seek to amaze. It seeks to reassure. You have always known how to rest. Your ancestors practiced it on long roads under changing skies. And now that knowledge returns quietly, inviting you to settle deeper, carried forward by the slow, steady footsteps of Homo erectus. Night deepens, and the fire settles into a steady glow. Flames are lower now, gentler, as if they too are preparing to rest. Around it, Homo erectus grows quieter. Voices are absent. Movement is minimal. The long day has been honored, and now it releases its hold. This is the moment where discovery of fire reveals its deepest gift. Not heat alone, but reassurance. The fire says the same thing again and again without words. You are safe. Stay. Rest. Across generations, this message becomes familiar. Children watch the embers with heavy eyes. Elders sit calmly, knowing the night will pass. The flame does not belong to one person, it belongs to the group, and beyond that, to time itself. Human migration history continues not because of constant motion, but because of nights like this, where the body learns how to fully let go. The cave or shelter feels complete. Shadows are soft. The outside darkness remains vast, but it no longer feels threatening. The fire draws a boundary that the mind trusts. Inside it, thoughts slow. Memory loosens. The journey of the day dissolves. Homo erectus rests with the quiet confidence that morning will come. This confidence is not optimism, it is experience. Thousands of nights have proven it true. The flame fades slightly, then steadies. A log shifts. Embers glow brighter for a moment. These small changes are noticed without concern. The brain remains relaxed, anchored by warmth and rhythm. This is why fire-centered scenes remain among the most calming for sleep. They echo the earliest environments in which the human nervous system learned to relax deeply. As you listen now, the same learning activates. Your body recognizes this ancient cue. Safety has been established. Vigilance can soften. The muscles release their last tension. Breathing becomes slow and even. Homo erectus does not plan tomorrow by the fire. Planning belongs to daylight. Night belongs to restoration. The migration across continents advances one rested body at a time, one calm night at a time, one safe pause after another. In this way, fire becomes more than a tool, it becomes a teacher. It teaches patience, stillness, and trust in cycles. Trust that warmth will return. Trust that light follows darkness. Trust that rest is not a weakness, but a requirement. As the group settles fully into sleep, the fire remains, watching quietly. It does not need attention. It does not demand anything. It simply exists, steady and dependable. This quiet presence mirrors what your own mind can become. You do not need to solve anything now. You do not need to move forward. You have arrived at rest. The final embers glow softly, painting the cave walls with fading light. Time stretches and blurs. Thoughts lose their edges. The story does not end abruptly. It slows until it feels like stillness. Homo erectus carries the journey onward through sleep itself. And as this chapter closes, allow the warmth of that ancient fire to linger. Let it hold you in the same way it held them. The road will continue in its own time. For now, the night is complete and sleep arrives naturally, guided by the oldest companion humanity has ever known. We were not alone. For a long time, the world held more than one kind of human. In the cold valleys of Ice Age Europe, the Neanderthals lived. Stronger in build, broader in chest, shaped by wind and snow, they moved through a harsher world with quiet endurance. This is often where the comparison begins, Neanderthals versus Homo sapiens, as if one must be defined by defeating the other. But tonight there is no competition, only presence, only memory. Imagine the stillness of a winter landscape where sound is softened by snow. Breath becomes visible in the cold air. Neanderthals breathe deeply, rhythmically, their bodies conserving warmth. They are not loud, they do not waste movement. Survival here depends on calm awareness rather than speed. This calm is part of their mystery. They are often described as extinct humans, but that word hides their humanity. They cared, they noticed, they remembered. In caves warmed by fire, Neanderthals gathered close, sharing heat and silence. Tools rested nearby. Hands, thick and capable, lay open in moments of rest. There is evidence of something more delicate here, too. Pigments, marks, patterns. These are not signs of brute force, but of expression. Some Neanderthals painted, others carved, and most moving of all, they buried their dead with intention. Imagine a small clearing inside a cave. The body of a loved one lies still. Around them, flowers are placed, not because it helps survival, but because it helps the living. This single act reframes everything. It tells us that Neanderthals understood loss. They felt grief. They honored memory. This is the viral heart of the chapter, the nostalgia of a humanity that feels close yet unreachable. The romance of knowing that long before us, someone else stood quietly beside a grave, holding sorrow with gentleness. In this moment, Neanderthals versus Homo sapiens becomes irrelevant. What matters is shared emotion, shared silence, shared breath in the cold. Farther east, other human cousins lived as well. The Denisovans, known mostly through fragments, through traces in DNA rather than stories. They too are part of this family of extinct humans, shadows in the record but not absent. They walked mountain paths, they adapted to thin air and wide distances. They left behind genetic echoes that still travel inside modern bodies. These cousins remind us that human evolution was not a straight line, but a quiet gathering of many paths. Some paths faded, others continued, but all contributed something essential. As night deepens in the Ice Age world, Neanderthals settle into rest. Firelight flickers softly on stone walls. Outside, the cold presses in, but inside there is warmth and familiarity. The day's effort is over. There is no need to speak. Silence itself feels shared. This silence is different from loneliness. It is full. It holds memory, care, and connection. When you listen to this calming history narration, your body responds to that fullness. The idea that you descend not from a single victorious line, but from a rich, complicated family. Some survived, some did not, but none were meaningless. Neanderthals did not disappear because they were lesser. They faded as climates shifted, as populations blended, as time moved on. Their story is not one of failure. It is one of belonging to a moment that passed. And tonight, as you rest, their presence lingers gently, like breath in cold air, visible for a moment, then gone, but never forgotten.
Time moves quietly, and with it, change arrives without ceremony. The Neanderthals do not vanish in a single moment. They fade, slowly, across generations. Climate shifts, ice advances and retreats, landscapes transform. Into this changing world, Homo sapiens appears not as a conqueror, but as another presence. The story, often framed as Neanderthals versus Homo sapiens, is in truth far more gentle and far more complex. These humans meet. They observe one another. They share space. In some places, they share lives. The boundaries between them soften. Children are born who carry both lineages. In this way, extinction is not absolute. It becomes integration. Denisovans, too, weave into this quiet merging. Though their bones are few, their legacy remains written inside modern DNA. These extinct humans are not gone entirely. They persist as whispers in the body, as traits, as resilience to cold, as memories carried without awareness. This realization changes the feeling of loss. It becomes tender rather than tragic. Something continues, even as something else ends. In the evenings, the Neanderthal way of life remains calm. Fires are tended. Tools are held with familiarity. Care is given to the injured and the old. This care matters. It tells us that strength was never their only quality. Gentleness was equally present. When a Neanderthal body is laid to rest, the act is slow and intentional. Flowers placed carefully, pigments scattered softly, the earth closed gently. These rituals do not seek permanence, they seek meaning. In this moment, the sadness is not loud, it is quiet, heavy, and beautiful. This is the romantic sorrow at the heart of this chapter. The feeling that something precious existed, fully alive, and then slowly passed. As nights grow colder, populations thin. Some groups move, others remain. Over time, the Neanderthal presence becomes rarer. The world grows quieter without them, though no one at the time would frame it as loss. Life simply continues. Homo sapiens carries forward new ways of speaking, new symbols, new stories. Yet beneath these, older layers remain. The steady breathing in cold air, the instinct to gather by fire, the impulse to honor the dead. These are shared inheritances. When you listen to this calming history narration, you are touching that layered ancestry. You are not choosing sides in Neanderthals versus Homo sapiens. You are recognizing kinship, the knowledge that humanity was once plural, not singular. Many voices, many forms, many ways of being, and the quiet ache that comes from knowing most of them are gone. This ache is not meant to disturb sleep, it is meant to soften it. Nostalgia does not agitate, it settles. It invites reflection rather than action. As the last Neanderthal communities rest under Ice Age skies, their nights resemble countless nights before. Firelight, breath, silence. The stars remain unchanged. They do not know they are nearing an end. And that innocence is part of the sadness. They live fully in their present, just as you are invited to do now. Eventually, their story becomes memory rather than experience. But memory is not empty. It holds shape. It holds warmth. It holds meaning. In modern humans, Neanderthal and Denisovan traces persist, quiet and unannounced,
a reminder that extinction is rarely clean. It is blended, diffused, absorbed into what comes next. As this chapter closes, allow yourself to feel that gentle sorrow without tension. Let it move through you slowly. Loss acknowledged does not create restlessness, it creates depth. The depth that allows the mind to settle. The knowledge that you belong to a long, intricate human family, some of whom walked away into time, leaving behind warmth, care, and echoes. The night deepens, the fire dims, and the Neanderthals, our quiet cousins, rest within us now, no longer separate, but woven into the calm that carries you towards sleep. And then, in a small corner of Africa, something new appeared. Not loud, not dramatic, just different. Anatomically modern humans emerged quietly, blending into landscapes already shaped by countless generations before them. At first glance, they looked familiar. 2 arms, 2 legs, eyes reflecting firelight. If you had seen them from a distance, you might not have noticed anything special at all. But inside, something subtle was shifting. This was the beginning of the Homo sapiens origin story, not marked by thunder or conquest, but by a gentle awakening of the mind. These early humans lived much like their ancestors. They hunted, they gathered, they rested when the sun fell. Yet when night came, something unusual happened. Around the fire, in the soft circle of light, they did more than sit in silence. They began to share. Not just food or warmth, but thoughts, ideas, images that did not exist in the physical world. This was the earliest breath of the evolution of language. Simple sounds at first, murmurs, pauses, meaning carried not only by words but by tone and timing. A glance could suggest danger. A rhythm could suggest comfort. Slowly, language became more than signaling. It became imagination made audible. This was the cognitive revolution, and it did not arrive as a sudden explosion. It arrived as a whisper, a quiet sense that the mind could travel without the body, that one could remember things that never happened and plan for things not yet real. Homo sapiens began to dream while awake. Around the fire, stories formed, a hunt retold with emphasis, an ancestor remembered with reverence, a shadow on the cave wall transformed into a spirit. These stories were not lies, they were shared understandings. They bonded groups together. They allowed hundreds of individuals to cooperate without seeing each other every day. This was the true power of imagination, not fantasy, but connection. When you listen to this sleep story for adults, you are participating in the same ancient act, listening, imagining, letting the mind drift while the body remains still. Early Homo sapiens did this instinctively. They understood that stories calmed fear, that a shared narrative made the darkness less threatening. Over time, these whispered stories shaped identity. We are the people who came from that river. We are the ones protected by that mountain. Such ideas allowed larger communities to exist. This is why the cognitive revolution mattered more than strength or speed. It allowed trust between strangers. It allowed memory to stretch beyond a single lifetime. In this way, Homo sapiens' origin is inseparable from storytelling. The ability to imagine a shared past and a shared future became a survival tool. As language evolved, it softened, it gained rhythm, it became soothing. Parents spoke gently to children. Elders spoke slowly to pass down knowledge. Tone mattered as much as content. This is why human voices can calm the nervous system even today. Your body recognizes this ancient pattern: a slow voice, a steady rhythm, familiar words. The evolution of language shaped not only cooperation, but rest. At night, when dangers were unseen, stories replaced vigilance. Listening allowed the body to relax without losing connection. The cognitive revolution thus carried an unexpected gift: the ability to rest together. As the stars turned overhead, Homo sapiens lay close to one another, minds drifting between memory and imagination. They were still fragile, still mortal, but now they carried something powerful inside them. A world that could exist without being touched, a world of meaning. And that quiet awakening, begun hundreds of thousands of years ago, still echoes now as you listen, as your thoughts soften, as sleep begins to approach. As the mind awakened, the world quietly changed with it. Homo sapiens began to see more than what was directly in front of them. A rock was no longer just a rock. A sound was no longer just a warning. Everything carried potential meaning. This shift marked a deepening of the cognitive revolution, not through force, but through perception. In caves across Africa and beyond, marks appeared on stone walls, lines, shapes, animals drawn in motion. These were not decorations made for beauty alone. They were expressions of shared imagination. Early humans were externalizing thought, placing memory outside the mind. This was a profound step in the evolution of language because it allowed ideas to last longer than a single voice or moment. A story told once could now be seen again. A belief could remain even when the speaker was gone. This ability to preserve meaning is why Homo sapiens' origin is inseparable from art and symbol. Around the fire, language grew richer, sounds combined, gestures softened, meaning layered itself gently. Stories were no longer only about survival, they became about belonging, about who we are. These shared narratives made large groups possible. Hundreds, even thousands, could cooperate because they believed in the same unseen things: a clan name, a spirit, a story of origin. This is the quiet genius of the cognitive revolution, not sharper teeth or stronger limbs, but a shared inner world. When we speak of evolution of language, we are also speaking of trust. Trust that the person beside you sees the same invisible reality that you do. As night fell, these stories became softer, told not to instruct, but to soothe. The voice slowed, the rhythm became steady. Children listened, adults listened too. Listening required less effort than watching the darkness. In this way, storytelling became a tool for rest, a sleep story for adults long before adulthood had names. Around the fire, fear dissolved into narrative. The unknown gained shape, and shaped things are less frightening. Homo sapiens learned that imagination could tame anxiety, that naming a fear made it smaller, that sharing a story made solitude disappear. Over generations, this practice shaped the nervous system itself. Humans became attuned to voice, cadence, and repetition. This is why, even now, your body responds to a calm narration. It recognizes safety. It recognizes community. The cave paintings, the rituals, the shared myths all served one purpose: to create continuity. Life felt less random when framed as a story. Birth, death, and hardship gained context. Meaning did not remove pain, but it made pain bearable. This is the deeper gift of the cognitive revolution. It did not eliminate suffering, it softened it. As Homo sapiens spread, these abilities traveled with them. They carried stories across rivers, plains, and coastlines. Wherever they settled, they recreated the same pattern: fire, gathering, language,
meaning. This pattern allowed them to adapt to environments that would otherwise feel overwhelming. And through this adaptation, they flourished, not because they were fearless, but because they could imagine comfort. When you listen to this calming history narration, you are engaging with that same ancient mechanism. Your mind drifts, but it does not feel alone. The voice becomes a companion. The story becomes a shelter. This is why the rise of Homo sapiens matters for sleep. It explains why humans seek narrative when the world grows quiet. Silence alone can feel empty, but gentle words fill that space without demanding attention. As the stars moved slowly overhead tens of thousands of years ago, early humans lay close together listening, not planning, not fighting, just being. Their minds floated between waking and dreaming. This liminal space became familiar, safe, and that space still exists now, waiting for you to enter it. The same cognitive capacity that once allowed survival now allows rest. The same imagination that built communities now builds calm. And as this part of the story settles, allow yourself to drift with it. There is nothing you need to do. Just listen, just imagine, just rest.
As imagination deepened, something even more profound emerged. Homo sapiens became aware not only of the world, but of themselves within it. This was not sudden insight, but a slow recognition, like noticing one's reflection in still water for the first time. Early humans began to sense time not just as cycles of day and night, but as a story stretching behind them and ahead of them. This awareness marked the quiet maturity of the cognitive revolution. With it came questions, not spoken aloud at first, but felt. Who were those who came before us? Where do we go when the body stops breathing? Why do the stars remain when everything else changes? These questions did not demand answers, they created depth. Homo sapiens' origin is defined here, in this inward turn. The mind became a place one could visit. Language followed, evolving to hold increasingly abstract ideas. Words began to represent not only objects but feelings, not only actions but absence. Grief gained shape, hope gained sound. This was the evolution of language reaching inward, becoming a bridge between inner experience and shared understanding. Around the fire, silence took on new meaning. It was no longer empty, it was reflective. People sat together, aware of one another's presence even without speech. This shared silence was safe. It allowed thought to wander without urgency. As death became understood as permanent, rituals grew more careful. The dead were remembered, not feared. Graves became places of connection rather than endings. This gentleness toward mortality is a defining feature of Homo sapiens. It allowed fear to transform into reverence. Instead of panicking at the unknown, humans wrapped it in story. Myths formed, not to explain the universe precisely, but to make it emotionally navigable. The cognitive revolution thus reached its most intimate stage. Humans learned to live with uncertainty. They accepted not knowing. This acceptance is what allows rest. When everything must be controlled, sleep is impossible. But when mystery is allowed, the body softens. This is why ancient stories often slow rather than excite. They were never meant to energize at night. They were meant to cradle the mind. As generations passed, this inner awareness became more refined. Individuals began to recognize themselves as unique, yet connected. A sense of self formed, not isolated, but relational. I exist because we exist. This balance prevented loneliness. Even alone, one felt accompanied by memory, by ancestors, by imagined futures. When you listen to this calming history narration, you are entering that same mental space, a place where thought drifts without pressure, where identity loosens, where being is enough. Homo sapiens did not survive because they dominated the world. They survived because they learned how to live inside their own minds without being overwhelmed. The evolution of language gave them tools to soothe one another. The cognitive revolution gave them the ability to contextualize fear. Together, these allowed nights to become less threatening. Darkness no longer meant danger alone. It became a canvas for thought, a space for story, a space for rest. Tens of thousands of years ago, under skies unchanged by time, early humans lay down knowing tomorrow would come, but not needing to plan it now. That trust was revolutionary, and it remains revolutionary today. As this chapter comes to a close, notice how your own thoughts have slowed, how images drift rather than collide. This is not accidental, it is inherited. You are using the same mental capacities that once allowed humans to survive long winters and uncertain futures. Now they allow you to sleep. The rise of Homo sapiens was not just the rise of intelligence, it was the rise of gentleness toward the self. And in that gentleness, rest became possible. Let the stories fade. Let the images soften. You do not need to hold on to meaning anymore. It will still be there when you wake. For now, simply rest, as countless humans have done before you, guided by imagination, comforted by story, and carried gently into sleep.
The greatest walk in history did not begin with a destination. It began with curiosity. Around 70,000 years ago, Homo sapiens stepped beyond familiar horizons, not as conquerors, but as wanderers, following food, water, and seasons. This was the slow unfolding of Ice Age migration, a movement so gradual it barely felt like travel at all. One valley led to another, one shoreline curved gently onward. The world did not feel vast yet, it felt continuous. From Africa into the Middle East, humans carried fire, stories, and a calm persistence. Nights were spent under open skies. Days were guided by terrain. This prehistoric history is not a tale of sudden leaps, but of steady footsteps. Out of Africa, into the Levant, across river crossings and narrow corridors of green, people moved with patience. They did not know they were filling a map. They were simply living. The climate shifted slowly, opening and closing pathways. Grasslands expanded, deserts softened at their edges. Each change invited another step forward. This is where the hypnotic rhythm begins. Step by step, camp by camp, generation by generation. Across the Fertile Crescent, into Anatolia, and onward into the wide steppes of Asia, movement became a way of being. Children were born into motion. Elders remembered places left behind, not with longing, but with acceptance. The land ahead mattered more than the land behind. This is the deep calm at the heart of global spread. No urgency, no finish line, just continuation. As humans moved eastward, the environment taught them how to adapt. Cold demanded clothing, distance demanded cooperation. Language and imagination traveled with them, smoothing uncertainty. Stories made new lands feel familiar before they were known. This is how the cognitive inheritance of Homo sapiens supported Ice Age migration without panic. When the world grew colder, glaciers locked water into ice, lowering sea levels and revealing new routes.
Land bridges appeared quietly, like invitations. None was more consequential than the frozen pathway between Siberia and the Americas. The Bering Land Bridge was not a dramatic crossing, it was a broad, cold plain, walked slowly over many lifetimes. To walk there was to walk on a frozen ocean, though it did not feel like an edge. It felt like land, grass, wind, silence. This moment anchors the peopling of the Americas, but even here, nothing felt monumental to those living it. They followed herds, they paused when conditions changed, they moved again when opportunity returned, step by step, footprint by footprint. This repetition is what calms the mind, the sense that progress does not require speed, only persistence. Elsewhere, other groups traveled south along coastlines, learning the rhythms of tides and fish. Boats were simple, navigation was intuitive. Islands appeared as brief interruptions rather than barriers. Down to the islands of Southeast Asia and onward to Australia, humans crossed water not with mastery, but with trust. Trust in currents, trust in stars, trust in one another. This prehistoric history unfolds like a lullaby, each place a verse. Africa, the Middle East, Central Asia, southern coasts, northern plains. Each name marks not a conquest, but a pause, a fire lit, a night spent listening. When you listen to this calming history narration, your body mirrors that pace. Thoughts travel without rushing, attention widens gently. The checklist of places becomes soothing rather than demanding, not because it is a list, but because it is a rhythm. Out of Africa, into the Middle East, across Asia, down to Australia, toward the frozen north. This is not about ownership of land, it is about belonging everywhere and nowhere at once. Homo sapiens did not dominate the planet through force alone. They spread through patience, flexibility, and imagination. The map filled quietly. No borders, no names yet, just human presence, light as footprints in snow, visible for a moment, then softened by time. As this first part settles, allow your own sense of space to expand. There is nothing to hold on to, only the feeling of steady movement across a vast, open world, carrying warmth, carrying story, carrying you gently toward rest.
The world continued to open, not all at once, but in layers. As Homo sapiens followed familiar rhythms, the map slowly filled with human presence. Each direction carried its own quiet logic. North meant cold, south meant warmth, east meant wide horizons, west meant water and uncertainty. Yet everywhere, the movement remained the same, slow, careful, persistent. This was Ice Age migration at its most patient. Across the vast steppes of Central Asia, the land stretched endlessly. Grass waved in the wind. Herds moved in predictable patterns. Humans followed, learning to read subtle signs. A change in birds, a shift in clouds. Knowledge accumulated gently, passed from mouth to ear, from story to story. This prehistoric history was written not in monuments, but in memory. From these steps, some groups drifted toward the north. Cold intensified. Ice shaped the land into hard clarity. Breath crystallized. Silence grew heavier. Yet people adapted. Clothing thickened. Shelters lowered. Fire became more precious. The land did not repel them, it instructed them, and slowly the northern world became familiar. To the south, other groups followed coastlines, where land and sea spoke constantly to one another. Waves marked time, tides suggested movement. Shells and fish provided sustenance. This coastal path carried humans into Southeast Asia and beyond. Down the checklist they went, one region at a time: Arabia, Persia, India, Southeast Asia. Each place added something small: a new food, a new story, a new way of seeing. This repetition is not boring, it is calming. The mind relaxes when progression feels steady, when nothing demands immediate resolution. The great crossing into Australia stands out only in retrospect. To those living it, it was another extension of the same rhythm. Short journeys, familiar stars, water crossed in stages, trust replacing fear. This is the hypnotic power of perseverance. No dramatic conquest, only continuity. Meanwhile, far to the north, the world grew colder still. Ice locked oceans away, revealing the wide expanse of the Bering Land Bridge. The peopling of the Americas did not begin with intention, it began with presence. People lived on that land bridge for generations, hunting, resting, raising children. They did not know they were between continents, they were simply home. Step by step, camp by camp, slowly they moved onward, into Alaska, down through ice-free corridors, along rivers, across plains. The checklist continues, soothing in its predictability. Siberia, Beringia, Alaska, Yukon, plains, valleys, coastlines. Each word a pause, each pause a breath. This is why such lists calm the nervous system. They promise continuation without urgency. As humans spread through the Americas, they adapted again. Forests demanded different tools. Plains required cooperation. Mountains encouraged patience. Everywhere, the same pattern repeated: fire, gathering, story, sleep. This prehistoric history does not glorify speed, it honors endurance. When you listen to this calming history narration, your thoughts mirror these journeys. They move without pressure. They explore without risk. The sense of scale expands, yet remains safe. No single place overwhelms. Each location is temporary, a stop, a rest, a moment. Over tens of thousands of years, Homo sapiens reached nearly every habitable corner of the planet, not by planning the whole journey, but by taking the next step. This is the lesson hidden inside Ice Age migration. Survival does not require seeing the end, only trusting the process. As this part of the story settles, notice how repetition becomes comfort, how naming places feels like breathing. The mind does not rush ahead, it stays with the rhythm. The world grows wide but calm, and you, like those early travelers, are allowed to rest wherever you are, knowing that movement can pause without danger.
Eventually, the walking slowed, not because the world ended, but because it had been gently reached. Homo sapiens now lived across deserts, forests, tundra, mountains, and islands. The map was no longer empty, it was quietly inhabited. This final stage of Ice Age migration did not feel like an ending to those who lived it. It felt like arrival without ceremony. Camps lasted longer, paths became familiar. Seasonal movement replaced endless wandering. This is where prehistoric history shifts tone, from exploration to dwelling, from constant motion to rhythm. People learned the land deeply. They knew when rivers rose, when animals returned, when stars shifted just enough to mark a new season. This knowledge brought calm. The world no longer felt unknown, it felt patterned, predictable enough to rest within. Across the Americas, from the far north to the southernmost plains, humans adapted with patience. The peopling of the Americas unfolded not as a single wave, but as many gentle ripples. Some followed coasts, others moved inland. Each group settled where the land felt right. No place demanded dominance, belonging was mutual. The land shaped the people, and the people shaped their stories about the land. Firelight glowed in countless places at once. Each flame marked a human presence, small and temporary, yet meaningful. When night fell, these scattered lights mirrored the stars above. This symmetry is deeply soothing. It reminds the mind that order can exist without control, that spread does not mean chaos. As Ice Age migration gradually came to rest, imagination filled the space movement once occupied. Stories grew longer, memories reached further back, ancestors became part of daily thought. This inward expansion balanced the outward one. Humans no longer needed to walk endlessly to feel purpose. They carried purpose within. This is why global spread did not fracture humanity. It diversified it. Each place added nuance, not separation. Even in isolation, humans remained human because language, story, and imagination traveled faster than feet. When you listen to this calming history narration, you are resting inside that realization. The planet is large, but it is familiar. Humans have been everywhere, quietly adapting, leaving traces that soften rather than scar. There is no urgency left in this story. The journey has unfolded. The checklist has been completed, not with a final tick, but with a sigh. Africa, the Middle East, Asia, Australia, the Americas. The names settle into stillness. They no longer pull forward, they rest. This sense of completion is essential for sleep. The mind relaxes when it feels a chapter has gently closed. Nothing more needs to happen tonight. Homo sapiens did not need to conquer the world to belong to it. By walking patiently, by adapting without force, they became part of every landscape. This belonging is inherited. You carry it now. Wherever you are not out of place. You are exactly where humans have always learned to rest. As this chapter fades, notice how movement gives way to stillness. The vast map that once expanded now folds softly into memory. The world remains wide, but you no longer need to travel it. Others have already done the walking for you. Tonight, you are allowed to stop, to breathe, to let the ancient journey conclude inside you. The fire burns low, the stars remain steady, and the long human walk, for now, comes gently to rest. Millions of years have passed, slowly and patiently, just to arrive at this quiet moment. From the first primate gripping a branch in a warm forest, to you now, lying still in the darkness. This is not coincidence. This is the long arc of survival finally exhaling. The journey that once demanded vigilance no longer needs it tonight. Your body is safe. Your breath is steady, and the weight of history rests gently beneath you, holding rather than pressing. This is the true meaning of sleep meditation history, not remembering every step, but feeling the result. The evolution summary does not live in facts anymore. It lives in comfort, in walls that protect you from the cold, in light you can turn off at will, in silence that does not signal danger. Every ancestor you heard about walked so that you would not have to tonight. They stood upright so you could lie down. They learned fire so you could feel warmth without fear. They told stories in the dark so your mind could relax instead of scanning shadows. This gratitude is not something you must actively feel. It is already present in your nervous system. The instinct to rest when it is safe. The ability to fall asleep fast when the world no longer threatens. For millions of years, night meant exposure, cold, predators, uncertainty. Sleep was shallow and brief. But tonight is different. Tonight is the reward. Homo sapiens did not only evolve intelligence, they evolved refuge. You are inside it now. The long human story bends inward here, away from struggle, toward rest. You do not need to earn sleep. It has been earned for you. Each generation added a layer of safety, a little more knowledge, a little more shelter, a little more peace, until finally vigilance could soften into trust. When you close your eyes, you are not giving up control. You are accepting a gift passed down across time. This is why sleep comes more easily when you stop trying to control it. The work has already been done. Your ancestors hunted, migrated, endured winters, crossed frozen oceans, and buried their dead with care, so that you could rest without listening for danger, so that you could let the mind drift without consequence. This is falling asleep fast, not as a technique, but as permission. The body understands this permission deeply. Muscles loosen, thoughts slow, awareness widens, then fades. There is no unfinished task left in this story tonight. The journey that began in trees, crossed savannas, glaciers, and seas, now ends on a still surface supporting you. The ground does not move. The night does not demand. Even time itself feels less urgent. This is the final transition of the evolution summary, from movement to stillness, from alertness to surrender. As you listen, notice how the need to follow the words begins to dissolve. You do not have to hold the story anymore. It can fade. History has done its work. You are here, alive, safe, allowed to rest. Let that realization sink below thought, below language, into sensation, into the quiet certainty that nothing is required of you right now. The struggle is over for tonight. The journey pauses here, and you are free to sleep. Now, there is nothing left to trace, no paths to follow, no maps to fill. The long human story no longer stretches forward or backward. It rests here with you. The quiet awareness that millions of years have already done their work creates a deep permission to let go. This is the final gift of sleep meditation history. It is not stimulation, it is release. You are not required to stay alert, not required to think, not required to remember. The evolution summary has reached its most gentle form. Everything that needed to happen has already happened. Your ancestors are no longer walking, hunting, watching the dark. They are resting through you. Each breath you take now is calm because countless breaths before you were tense. Each moment of safety you feel is built on moments of danger that are no longer yours to carry. This is gratitude without effort. You do not have to name it. Your body recognizes it as ease, as heaviness, as warmth. The nervous system softens when it knows vigilance is no longer necessary. This is falling asleep fast in its truest sense. Not forcing sleep, but allowing it. The mind does not need to solve anything anymore. Thoughts can appear, drift, and fade without consequence. If images come, let them blur. If memories surface, let them pass. Nothing here needs attention. The story has served its purpose. It has guided you from movement into stillness, from awareness into rest. As the words continue, notice how they begin to matter less. Meaning dissolves gently. Sound becomes texture. Rhythm becomes background. This is intentional. Sleep does not arrive with clarity. It arrives with softness, with edges fading, with the sense that you are supported from below and above at the same time. The bed holds you. The night holds you. The long human lineage holds you. You are not alone in this darkness. You never have been. For most of history, darkness was shared. Bodies close, breathing synchronized. That memory remains inside you. Even now, your breath slows to match a rhythm older than language. In this space, there is no past to regret and no future to prepare for. Time loosens its grip. Minutes stretch or disappear entirely. This is not loss of control. It is trust. Trust earned across evolution. Trust that rest is safe. Trust that the world will still be there when you wake. And it will. But waking is not required now. Now is for sinking, for settling, for letting gravity complete what history began. If consciousness drifts, allow it. If it fades, welcome it. There is no final instruction, no ending you must hear. Good night is not a command. It is a suggestion carried on breath. The journey is complete for tonight. The struggle is over. You have arrived exactly where you need to be. Let the story fade into dreams. Let the darkness become gentle. Let sleep take you, slowly, naturally, completely.